actually, in the last few years, I've got really curious about things. And one of the things that I realized that I was essentially very ignorant about was Islam. I didn't
Mm.
understand. I didn't understand what it was based on. I didn't understand the various factions. Yes, I read the newspaper, but actually, that doesn't give me any understanding. And when I was trying to process or argue or even articulate points about how I felt about um, the you know Islamic terrorism or the rise of Islamism or cultural dissonance within our own society or progressive Islam, I didn't know anything about it. I actually didn't. I was just guessing, and I what I wanted to do was join and essentially, I mean, today's what you've gone through today is exactly what I hoped for because I felt like I was completely in the dark and ignorant, and sessions like this help my understanding and actually make me more tolerant because now I understand it more. I'm not I'm not resistant to various parts, and I I'm much more likely to be able to engage in a non-threatened way because I've got more understanding of the whole situation. I mean, so exceptionally illuminating. The description of the progression of Islam. I think I understand the historic differences in much more depth now than I ever did before. It brought the history to life, which makes a massive difference to me, which is great. And the most useful thing is the the practical application where you've given me a whole bunch of stuff where I can actually practically now go and proactively go to the local Islamic center and I can meet people and I've got your name to introduce and that kind of thing is for me the most is invaluable because I don't feel impotent anymore. But what it's
Yeah.
done is
Yeah.
it's given me a much deeper understanding of extremism and the kind of practical elements and the human elements, which I think it's much harder to gain from textbooks, and that's why this has been incredibly useful. The idea that you bring something to teach us that then stimulates a conversation afterwards, and in fact, I remember this from Majid Nawaz's book about the way that Hizb ut-Tahrir approach things, which is their study groups. And I remember thinking, we have nothing like that. The idea of debate,
Mm.
the idea of conversation, the idea of group learning, we don't learn anywhere outside of school. And actually, I love this.
No.
This is great. I'm genuinely interested in all of this. I would love the circle to be wider. I would love more people to be involved and the debate to be larger and study groups springing up to debate exactly these things because I think we have such a polarized debate because it all takes place over social media. And this kind of session is absolutely brilliant because, on the one hand, it educates us. I've learned a shed load more than I would, learn from reading a textbook. But second, we've had a proper chat and we've articulated different
Yeah.
positions. And some of my preconceptions have been challenged, and some of my ideas have been developed, and some of them have been. I now know that they weren't quite right and we've changed them and that's what happens
Yeah.
in conversation and not enough conversation happens